Hey there, it's the brand therapist, Michelle B Griffin, and welcome to your weekly personal brand therapy session. This is the podcast that helps solo experts like you get unstuck and get on your way with a brand that takes you places. I'm super excited you're here. Now let's get going with today's session. Welcome back to today's personal brand therapy session. I'm the brand therapist, Michelle B Griffin. Today we're going to cover why we need to retire the word niche. Now, I'm not against the concept of what a niche is. Trust me, I am for team somebody, not for team everybody. But if you're just leaving corporate, wanting to really leverage your expertise, get out there as a coach, consultant, speaker, author, creator, or some combination of it all, you need to be for someone. We don't just punch up Google and look for everybody, right? We look for specific things. And that's the same reason why we need to have a narrow lane. So I'm here today to talk about why we need to retire the word niche and talk about having a narrow lane. Now let's unpack what I mean by a narrow lane. A narrow lane is a really tight area, staying in your lane of expertise that you have done some research on. You don't want to just blindly do it. You want to be well equipped. You want to have expertise in the area and interest. It should light you up, of course. And it should have a kind of a burning need in that area. So I like to say a narrow lane is where you start. You can always go broader later, but you're going to get traction faster for so many reasons. But the main one is that you're going to reach and resonate with a very specific audience. And the way I like to really unpack narrow lane is that we're going to be problem focused. So we're just as humans getting more and more distracted every single day. There's more people on social media. There's more things. There's more messages. It's just getting worse. And we have to be very specific if we want to find our people out there. It's no longer 2000, 2003, 2005, and you put something out there and people notice. It's just completely a different world. So the more narrow you can get, the better. Now, the word niche is also going to be filed in Michelle's jargon jar because it keeps the best and brightest stuck. We worry too much about what's my niche, what's this, what's that. We worry too much about all the things that are just so cliche out there when we really just need to look inward, then look outward, and then look at our competitive landscape. So if you want to figure out where do I need to show up, let's talk about how to do it to narrow your lane. First of all, who do you want to show up for? Who is it? Now, it's got to be someone, I would imagine, that you're well equipped, you're interested in serving, and there's a burning need. And that's what we're going to unpack because people pay attention. As humans, we all do this, right? We all walk around with a burning need, desire, unmet something in our heads. So if you're going to come out there and you are addressing these needs, the right people that you're trying to reach, team somebody, not team everybody, is going to start paying attention. So I want to ask you this. Who are you here for? Who are you showing up for? Who is it that you are putting yourself out there for? Now, once you know that, great. That's top level. Then we're going to find out what keeps them up at night. What's their pain point, unmet needs? What is it they really want? Now, they can want a lot of different things, but we want to do the big top level one that you are here to solve and you can solve and you want to solve. We want to know exactly how they talk about it. You know, in the copywriting world, they call it voice of customer research. In my one-on-one coaching VIP program, we do a lot of deep diving on that. But you yourself have a bunch of different places, and I'll unpack that in a future personal brand therapy session. But essentially, you want to know how these people, your team, somebody is talking about this problem. Because I've seen this a lot in the messaging when I help my clients. They're communicating something that your ideal reader, client, audience does not talk like that. Or we're too close to it because we're experts at what we do. So there's a disconnect. So you want to go to the most basic area and figure out, how is that person I'm here to serve, how do they talk about it? You want to really lift that language, okay? That's more research to narrow your lane. And then you want to figure out what is being given to them right now in the market. This is how we find your differentiation, your positioning. We want to go and do some deep diving. Who is it out there serving them already? How are they serving them? Are they doing high, low, in between, done with you, done for you? How are they presenting the problem? How are they talking about it? That's going to be a lot of great answers for you to uncover. So when you have the idea of who do you want to serve, based on all the areas that you can back it up and truly want to stay in the game for, and then figure out what is it that really keeps them up that I can help them with. How do they talk about that? You really want to capture their language. And what are others doing in my space? When you can do those 3 little areas, go mine that research, you're going to get some real big answers for yourself. So instead of just struggling on the sidelines and worrying, and trust me, I've been there too, no fingers pointed here, but we get so caught up in, I don't know my niche, what's my niche? There's so much conflicting advice out there. Take everything with a grain of salt. Even with what I'm telling you, it's got to really appeal to you. It's got to appeal to your audience, your mission, your goals, all the things. But I do know, because I've seen it with myself, with clients, I've seen it in my community and on LinkedIn, we are so strung up and hung up on just the jargon of what's my niche that it puts a roadblock, and that just keeps the best and brightest like you stuck. And that's why I'm here as the brand therapist. That's why I invented my brand GPS personal positioning system, because I never want experts like you who are so ready to get out there and build your authority-focused personal brand to get stuck by these roadblocks. So today is all about narrow lane versus niche. How do we crush that stuck feeling of, I don't know who I'm here for, how do I show up? So let's recount how to narrow your lane. This is today's session actionable takeaway. I want you to write down, who is it you're here for? Now, that of course has to overlap with expertise, your exact interest to help these people. Don't just go find someone to help that just doesn't make sense and you could care less about, because that's not going to sustain you. And I also want you to write down why this matters. All right. We didn't talk about this earlier, but I want to know, write it down. Why does this matter? Because that pulls in a backstory and a lot of different ways that you can really translate this down the road. But this is going to really relate and resonate with your ideal audience here. So who is it you're here for? What is the one problem that you know this person, team somebody, not team everybody, we're narrowing down to team somebody lane, is really stressed about? Because remember, as humans, we walk around with problems in our brains. So when we're hearing someone or seeing someone who can help us, we're going to take notice. So when you can pinpoint the problem or unmet need, because sometimes it's just a desire or an unmet need, whatever that is, the one you're going to help, I want you to write that down. Then I want you to go look around social media, wherever your audience, this person hangs out. I want you to see how others in your space who are serving these people, how are they doing it? Okay. Be a detective, go look at their services, look and see how others in your space are addressing this need for this person, because that's going to give you huge clues on how you can do it a little bit different, a little bit better. This is going to help you decide how you can differentiate yourself. And there's a lot of ways to unpack that, which we will at a future personal brand therapy session, but this is going to start giving you so many guardrails for your narrow lane. And that's what today's session is. Forget the niche, go for the narrow lane. Today was about getting the guardrails for that. So let me know. I want you to reach out on LinkedIn. Let me know you heard this episode and tell me what your takeaway was. I want to know exactly what resonated with you and if you wrote it down. So my friends, that's it for today's personal brand therapy session. I absolutely love being here every week with you. I also want to give a shout out to those who have reached out to me to congratulate me for the podcast getting back after a year, and I really appreciate all your feedback. It would mean the world to me if you could leave me a rating or a review on Apple Podcasts, because that'll help more stuck people like you just get out of their way, get out of their head, and get on their way and build those opportunities that are out there waiting for you. I'm really trying to build up my ratings. That's something I didn't do that first 2 years. And as you know, social proof is everything. So I appreciate that in advance. But until next time, you know where to find me. Go check out my website at thebrandtherapist.io. Reach out to me if you have a question or a topic that I can address for a future personal brand therapy session. I am all ears and I want to hear and answer your questions. So reach out to me there. I'll catch you next week. Take care. That's a wrap for today's brand therapy session. Need help with your personal branding journey? Then head on over to thebrandtherapist.io and grab my free resources to get going today with your brand. And until next time, keep putting yourself out there. You have a brand to build, a message to share, and people to impact. Take care, everyone. I'll talk to you soon.